take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. It's time!
Back in Your Life, episode 32. It's the Church of MMA. I'm Tabor Cragen.
My name is Mason Knight, and today we are talking the Derek Lewis Alexei Oleinik recap. And then after that, we're going to jump into some MMA news. Tabes, where do we start off on this episode?
I think we got to start off right with the main event. Let's just get right into it.
Let's jump into it.
Yep. Alexei Oleinik, Derek Lewis. This did not go any way. I was so wrong. And shout out to Derek Lewis and his jiu-jitsu coaches, because it's so obviously they've been working like hours and hours on the mat, dude. He has improved so much on the ground. I think like to get those reversals and transitions in that first round.
Would have never saw it coming. I mean, I was literally just joking around about the preview show of this very card saying, what is Derek Lewis, a white belt?
I know.
Right?
I know.
And then, I was really impressed with Derek Lewis. I got to be honest with you. Whatever they're doing over there, I mean, he's got a blue belt. I know that, but
at least.
Man, I was really, really impressed with those transitions on the ground. I didn't think he had it in him.
Yeah.
He proved me wrong. He proved everyone else wrong too. And coming off that ACL injury too.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought he looked great. I got to be honest. I was shocked at Derek Lewis's performance.
Yeah, because
good on him.
Well, I mean, the whole narrative of this fight was if it goes down to the ground, it's over.
It's over.
It's completely over, and he proved us wrong. Holy shit!
did.
I mean, there were a few times, like in those scrambling transitions where they were getting back to the feet, that Alexei Oleinik were landing those takedowns and taking him down himself with those single legs, and he did pretty good.
Yeah,
he survived. Like he wasn't eating huge shots, but we got to talk about that head and arm choke or bulldog choke or whatever that was.
Yeah, it was close. It was close to being pulled off. I mean, even Derek Lewis after in that interview said he started snorting and shit.
Yeah.
Saying he couldn't breathe, but he said his kids would never let him live it down if he did get submitted. And he got out of it too, man.
Yeah, well, just forget about the just not breathing part, just the pain.
Oh my
Fuck,
God!
having your head
pain
squeezed
in your
like
neck
that?
like
Oh my
that,
God.
Yeah.
How'd it
Well,
hurt
and your
so hard?
spine too. I mean, you got to feel like your head's getting disconnected from your spine, dude.
Yeah.
That's a lot of torque, especially for a heavyweight with that much strength. Again, I just, for lack of a better term, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe he pulled that off. To be able to get out of that.
Yeah, and so the first round ends, second round starts. I mean, shit, what, flying knee to straight right, and it was over?
Flying knee to straight right, yep.
Oh, my goodness. Just so much power,
And
dude.
again, it seems like Herb Dean is in the hot seat once more. But
Wait,
I
really?
thought...
For that fight?
Yep. I saw an article that said Herb Dean still finding problems, still not stopping.
I thought that was a fine stoppage.
I thought it was a fine stoppage too, man. I don't know what is going on. I don't know what's going on in the MMA community where, I feel like everyone's after Herb Dean. I said that last episode too. I thought it was a fine stoppage. I thought if he would have stopped that, before we saw Derek Lewis drop
we
those
kind of
hammer
would have been
fists,
pissed because
he
he
would
was
have been
fighting
like,
back.
what are we doing? Because he was fighting
Yeah.
back. He wasn't unconscious. He wasn't out. He didn't take an exuberant amount of punishment. I thought it was a fine stoppage. So I disagree with everyone who's upset about that stoppage. I thought it was fine.
Really?
I think people are getting a little too picky
Yeah,
on the whole stoppage thing, man.
I didn't even know
really did.
that fight was even controversial in the slightest bit.
So then you
This
do
is
think
news
that
to
was
me.
a fine stoppage, right?
Absolutely fine. I mean, he was fighting back until he wasn't.
Yeah.
The
And then
second he
Herb
started to
stepped
go,
in.
he stepped in
Yeah.
and saved him, and I thought it was beautiful. It was fine.
It was weird.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, shout out to Derek Lewis. I mean, you look great. He's number 4 in the world before this fight. So he's a real he's been a contender this whole time. But, after coming back from that ACL injury, he's a real contender in the heavyweight division. I look forward to seeing his next fight.
Did you see that Oleinik was like 229 or something like that?
Yeah, Derek was 32 pounds heavier than him.
So crazy. Well, Derek says he isn't taking another fight until he weighs 240, 255, 245, 230. He said,
Well,
he
yeah,
said
it's
that's going to be the perfect fighting
Well,
weight
yeah,
for him.
dude, it's probably hard on his body to be that heavy.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
it's just your cardio. They're like him and Walt Harris, those huge boys that are cutting weight to get to 265.
Yep.
Shit, he'd cut 20 pounds to get 265. Just crazy. It's got to be so detrimental on your gas tank to be that heavy.
So let's talk about where Derek Lewis goes next. I think Alexei Oleinik, I think it's safe to say at 43 years old, this was his last shot at making a run for the title. Would you agree with that statement or no?
It depends. Heavyweight's
Depends.
one of these divisions. It only takes a couple wins consecutively to really be in a title shot contention.
Yeah, and I do agree with that to a point, but at the same point, you got Francis Ngannou in the wings, Curtis Blades.
Yeah,
Derek-
well, Francis has to fight. I would say the Curtis Blades. I'd love to see Lewis versus Blades.
That's
I think
what
that's
I think
the
too.
matchup.
I think that's the matchup to make. Curtis Blades sitting at 3, Derek Lewis just winning 3 and 4, and then you kind of got an argument for Curtis Blades if he were to go out there and beat Derek Lewis. That hey, whether or not he lost to Francis twice, he deserves another title shot.
Yeah, well, if it's for the title, that's the only way I think you make that fight.
Yes.
So it'd have to be for a title. Say Francis fucking knocks out the winner of this next weekend's fight. Who knows?
Well, no, DC's retiring.
Maybe.
Oh yeah,
You never know, dude. You never know. If money talks.
Someone was saying, I don't remember who, but it was some UFC commentator or whatever. But they were talking about how DC, they think that if DC were to win this fight, he's going to take on John Jones, saying he can't
I
pass
saw
up
that
money.
too. Yeah.
But I don't see that, man. I don't think DC wants that fight.
Yeah.
Not that I think he's scared of John Jones, because I still think in his mind like he can beat him, and I think DC can beat him. Honestly, I think he still holds a shot.
I think the last thing DC wants is to lose the heavyweight championship of the world to John Jones.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like worst
To end your
nightmare
career?
situation.
But I mean,
That's not
if you're gonna bet, if you're a bet man, you bet on yourself. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I definitely think the winner of a Derek Lewis Curtis Blades deserves a title shot, and I wouldn't be mad if it was a Derek Lewis and he got the Ngannou fight. I kind of want to see that fight again. I know the first fight was like literally probably goes down in history as the worst fight of all time. Like,
Ngannou Lewis.
yes,
Yeah.
it has to be. It's like I don't
it's
even know
awful.
what other fight you
There's
could
no
compare
other
it to.
fight. Yeah, there's no other fight is worse than that.
Yeah, it was
Especially
terrible.
with all the hype surrounding that
And
fight.
that's what made it so bad. If that was like a prelim fight nobody gave a fuck about and that happened, it wouldn't even be a big deal. Yeah. But because it was the most hyped fight of all time and it turned into be the shittiest fight of all time, it didn't work out.
Right.
It didn't work out. I wouldn't be mad to see it though.
No,
Like if
nor would I.
Derek Lewis came in healthy and has a good back and actually throws for once, dude, that's a very interesting fight in my opinion. But with Ngannou in that fight, if he would have just fucking thrown something, maybe he would have won with his freakish power. Who knows? It's just an interesting matchup.
But I think you think Uncle Dana does that though.
Probably
I mean, he
not.
puts that fight together again. I
Probably
mean, that's
not. I don't even know if
you're
it sells.
risking a lot.
It's not going to be hyped up.
No,
Like, will
it
that fight
can't
even
be.
sell?
Not the same way. You can't put promotional money behind that. With the idea that the second time around, I mean, because you have nothing to go on. You have no promo to cut. Come watch the most boring heavyweight fight in history. Watch it again live on pay-per-view. You know, like that just doesn't.
Yeah, for
sell.
a belt this time.
Yeah, it does. It does make it. It's rough. I don't know how you cut that promo.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Who knows? I guess we just got to move on from that because that just stunk up our episode.
All right, let's talk about the co-main event. Chris
Yep.
Weidman versus Akhmedov.
This shocked me.
This is the biggest shock of 2020. Actually, not 2020, but maybe MMA 2020 in history, dude. I mean, seriously, like, and that's kind of the thing with this podcast is we will be wrong so many times, and we can admit that we're wrong so many times, and we will be because we're just fans. We're not fucking experts. You know, we don't know what we're talking about. But man, Chris Weidman actually, do I think he can contend for a middleweight belt again? Absolutely not. There's no way. After watching that fight and how gassed he was, no, I don't think so. But you want to talk about gassed? Akhmedov in that third round. Jesus.
Yeah, I couldn't even throw right.
Couldn't even do
He couldn't even
anything.
throw right in the second round.
No, it was awful.
Yeah, he won that round.
Yeah,
which was weird.
He won the second round.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
The third round was just absolute domination by Chris Weidman. And he had the better gas tank. But I thought Chris was fading in the second a little bit.
Dude,
didn't
they were
you?
both getting tired in the second.
And then all of a sudden,
it was pretty apparent.
Weidman just, I guess, like refueled up in the middle of that third round and just complete domination.
Yeah, well, after losing most of the first and then gets on top in the third, starts
Mm-hmm.
dropping big elbows and takes control and, had submission and threats. Like, he stole that round.
Yeah, he
really.
did.
He was about to lose that round until he stole it there. But we just got to talk about his chin a little bit because it held up. He was
did
getting
hold up.
blasted by some huge
He got
shots.
some big shots, land against him.
Yeah.
And,
Didn't
held
even
up.
get wobbled really once, I don't think. I mean, definitely maybe got stunned a few times, but to the point where he couldn't walk or, lost his feet, I don't think that happened.
Well, the thing is, I mean, he just beat the number 11 in the world, so you got to put a number by Chris's name.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, I don't know how you put a number behind a guy's name who has lost 5 out of his last 7 fights. You know what I mean? Even though he is fighting savages and he is an elite fighter, I kind of got a problem with that. I don't know why, but I do.
I don't think he gets into the top 10. I think he
No, there's
steals
no
11.
way.
He,
Yeah.
If he
Yeah, he'll
doesn't
take,
steal
like,
11, he takes 10.
13, I'm thinking. I don't think they're going to give him that 11 spot.
Yeah, but who does he fight next, dude? I don't know.
Well, there's killers. There's killers in the
It
middleweight
could- I mean,
division.
it could
It's
be
a
anybody.
it's a real problem. I mean, Derek Brunson coming off that win. Derek Brunson ain't going to take that fight
No.
because he's on a title fight run. Maybe the winner of Uriah Hall and Yoel Romero.
Ooh,
But God,
no.
I don't want to see Yoel. I mean, Yoel already knocked him out, so we don't want to see
we
that.
don't want to
again.
see that again.
Edmund Shabazian maybe coming off that loss.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that
yeah.
fight. I mean, he
Edmund
probably gets knocked
Shabazian?
out, but I wouldn't mind that. That'd be a great fight.
Oh, he'd definitely get knocked out.
He's got
by
options,
Shabazian.
and that's the thing. He's got so many options because he's the ex-champ. He's the fucking superstar of yesterday.
Yeah.
Like he's
He's
got
the
a big
American
name.
hero.
Yeah,
Chris Weidman, man.
and he always sells.
He does.
Every single time. You know, he's an automatic draw. He's an automatic gate seller. So, you know, it doesn't matter who they match him up with. It's a big fight because he's the name on that side. So.
But I mean, shout out to Chris Weidman. I mean,
Yeah.
like to go out there and put on the performance that he did and get that W. I mean, it is a big
It's a
deal
big
in his
deal.
career.
Yeah, it really is. He just said, like he said in the interview, he said it was just most important just to get a W.
Yep.
Because that was the most important thing.
So I mean, you know, good for him. I mean,
Yeah.
because we have talked I guess if you want to call it shit, but it's not really shit. It's just concerns
Mm-hmm.
over Chris Weidman's career. I think that's all it is. But I am happy for the guy. Like I like Chris Weidman. We talk about that every single week. I'm glad he went out there and got the win.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
happy for him.
Like I'm happy for him. I just I want to make sure that he's still able, you know, health wise, to be able to go out there and fight against these elite guys.
Yeah,
But
we just
he
don't
did prove it last night.
We don't want to see him slurring his words and shit
Right.
like 20 years down the road.
Exactly.
Yeah. But
All right.
congrats to him. You know,
Absolutely,
I took
yeah.
Akhmedov, by the way. So
As did I.
Obviously, no points there.
No points. And we both picked Olynyk, so rough night for both of us so far. Let's move on to this Darren Stewart fight versus
Coconut
Katola.
Bombs. It was
Yeah.
just a great fight. I mean, as long as it lasted, it was an absolutely great fight. Back and forth. Coconut Bombs wobbled with a huge right hand.
Yeah.
Darren Stewart really put him on skates there for a second. And, man, it was just a great it was just a great exchanges all the way through. And then to go for that takedown and then get caught in the guillotine like that, fuck, that's got to be demoralizing.
Man, that guillotine was tight.
was
too.
tight.
When
It
I
was
saw that, I
quick.
was like, "Geez,
Yeah,
he
it-
ain't getting out of that."
It didn't take long for the tap to come.
No.
You know, it was really quick. So just the level of the squeeze that man probably has is just so jacked, so strong. So
It was good for
Yeah.
Darren Stewart to get that win too. You know, finding out that his training partner, who he is very close with, died because of his brother
yeah, I
stabbing
saw
him to
that.
death.
That's so crazy. That's
It's
such
so
a crazy
sad.
story, dude.
It's
Like
a
your brother
crazy
murdering
story.
you.
Yeah.
What the fuck? It was at like a
Cain and
birthday
Abel
party
things.
or something
Yeah.
like that.
Stabbed him to death, man. It's
So
just sad.
crazy.
It's so awful. But, you know, sometimes you just never know. You never
Yeah.
know, man. And but it was cool for him being able to tribute that fight to his friend,
Yeah.
his training partner.
Yeah, it's just the amount of emotions that go into a camp like that, and just into a fight in general. Like, it
Well,
just
we
had
just
to have been
saw it.
such a huge relief for him to get the win.
We just saw Cody Stamen go through that too, you
Yeah.
know, and getting that win for his 18-year-old brother. So
Yeah, hats off.
hats
to
off.
Darren
Yeah,
Stewart.
exactly.
Yeah, because that's crazy. If something like that happens, like I ain't going through a camp, let alone taking a fight. Like, what the
No,
fuck, man? I'm gonna be depressed for months. But yeah, next fight: Yana Kuznetskaya, Julia Storilenko.
Wow,
Storilenko,
that was
I
really
tried.
good for both of them. Good job.
Yeah, well, Yana is easy because if you fuck her name up, you know, Thiago Santos is gonna come to your house and kick your ass.
Beat the
So,
shit out of you.
yeah.
You do not want that. Dude,
Friend
I
of
don't
the show,
even.
by
I don't
the
even
way.
want to flyweight. Yeah, friend of the show. By the way.
Thiago Santos.
Yeah, no, I don't even want a flyweight coming and getting in my face, bro.
no,
None of them. No, thank you.
No, but Yana Kuznetskaya, man, just kind of showed, you know, hey, I'm a top 10 for a fucking reason. Like, he ain't just going to bring some Invicta girl in and just try to beat my ass and take my spot. Like, that ain't happening. Pretty much dominated the entire fight.
Oh, dude, yeah, the clinch work too.
Yes.
Right up on that fence for just minutes and minutes on end, just putting the punishment and just making her tired. I thought she looked phenomenal.
Yeah, she did.
She really did. She impressed the hell out of me, and a great win for her.
Yeah, got me the 3 points on that one because I
did.
took her decision.
Yep.
Good, well-earned 3 points. I needed that one.
All right, let's talk about our boy Dariush.
Oh, we got, dude, once again, more wild fucking exchanges,
Yeah.
beating the shit out of a guy on the feet, a guy that doesn't get finished, and to finish him with a spinning back fist.
Dude,
oh
that
my
was sick.
goodness.
When that happened, I was like, oh,
Crazy.
oh my God. It was beautiful. Just
Yeah.
perfectly timed, right on the chin, and that's all she wrote, folks.
Oh, it was over.
Oh my gosh, it was
was
just a beautiful spinning back fist, man.
Yes,
and
perfectly.
we don't get to see that all the time anymore. I mean, we saw it back in the old days. I think a little bit more, but man, he just landed that clean, and that was it. I loved it.
It was a beautiful performance, man. Dude, and a guy that's known for jiu-jitsu and known to go down to the ground and all that, but his striking has developed so much over the years. He's just such a vet, and now he's got a number by his name again.
Yep.
Dude, he's a dangerous matchup for anyone in the top 15, I think, right now. Like, there's great matchups that can come out with.
Oh, dude, I totally agree. I love him.
Yeah.
I love
the guy.
Dariush.
Yeah. Who's in the top 10 right now? That would really be a great matchup for him. I mean,
How about
he has to
Kevin
get
Lee?
ranked. Well, Kevin Lee tore his other ACL.
Oh, that's
apparently.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, so he needs another surgery.
Alaquinta, Diego Ferreira.
Ally Quinta. That's a
Alaquinta.
great matchup.
That'd be a fun fight.
Benil Dariush, Ally Quinta, make that. That's a great fight, in my opinion. That's a
it is.
perfect fight.
And that's
for
a
both men.
big name for Dariush, too, if he were to get that win. I mean, that could really propel his career.
Well, think of it. Dan Hooker got that win and then got, Dustin Poirier? No. Who was it? It was Paul Felder fight.
Yeah,
Got
the
that
Felder
real
fight.
big fight and a main event fight out of it. Could be big for
Yeah,
Benil.
Alaquinta's a big name, dude. He's
Big name.
one of the only guys to hang 5 rounds with Habib on like a 4-day notice or whatever the hell it was.
And he's a main
Might have
event
been
fighter.
even less than 4 days.
Yeah,
It's
and
insane.
Yeah, and he's a main event fighter for
He
sure.
is.
If he's not a main event, he's fighting on the pay-per-views.
Yep.
Yeah, so congrats to Benil. I totally took him by submission, but once again, he impressed us all with the feet and with the striking.
Me and you both had him submission too, so 1 point apiece.
Yep.
Sure wish that spinning back fist could have came in the second round though, Dariush. But hey, you got the job done
Yeah,
nonetheless.
god damn it. All right, Mason, let's get into some MMA news. So, Sugar Sean O'Malley, who is in the co-main event of this weekend's next fight card, UFC 252. You know, so apparently he started some sort of like a clothing line or something, or he's preparing to launch one. He just made $20,000 on jersey sales. He was selling his own jersey, made $20K instantly.
Can I tell you something about Sugar Sean O'Malley? I really believe this kid is the full package. And I'm not just talking about an MMA fighter. I'm talking about as a person in general. I think he's smart and very savvy as a business kid or as a businessman. Not business kid. He's, 23, 24. But I just think this kid is just brilliant mind all the way around. He's saving his money. He's being smart. He's investing his money in his own clothing brand. He's literally, not metaphorically, but just actually betting on himself.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. He's got unbelievable confidence in himself. He will be the next superstar of the UFC. I love this kid. And all the good things that he does. He does these Twitch games or whatever. I'm not familiar with video games really, but he goes on there, he'll win a big tournament, he donates the money. Like he's a young kid, like who probably doesn't have a lot of money. He does that stuff. He's making his own clothing line.
Yeah, he's a master
investing
brand
his
builder.
money. Yeah, he is. And I really like this guy, dude. He is something special, and it's something that we don't get to see all the time. But mark my words, Tabor, we are watching a superstar in the making.
Yeah, well, name another MMA fighter that has built a brand like he has so far. You can't.
No, I mean, I can
Conor
say
McGregor.
one, Conor McGregor.
That's
Yep.
it. And he's following in those footsteps,
He is.
and he's making his way up there. Obviously, he's not the pay-per-view draw, but we're about to find out. Like I said, co-main event. That's obviously that the UFC is getting behind Sugar Sean O'Malley.
You have
They are
to.
putting him out in the forefront. If you're going to be co-main event to the heavyweight championship of the fucking world,
Right.
that's a massive deal.
And we will jump into it more in our preview show of UFC 252, but I'm just glancing over this, right? Marlon Vera is a very, very tough competitor. And even if Marlon Vera goes out and beats him, like it's like one of those situations where he's already got his fan base. He's already got people who support this kid, who love this kid. I mean, he's so young. He's 24, 25 years old, that even if he were to go out and lose, it's not detrimental to his career at all. Like, he is building a brand. He's doing it slow. He's doing it smart. I don't know, man. This kid is just special.
Yeah, and he's just smart.
special.
He's smart. I mean, fuck. Reebok isn't paying him shit. Reebok made millions of dollars off of his
Off
fucking
his
t-shirts.
brand.
Didn't
Yeah.
pay him jack shit from it. So he says, fuck you guys. I'm making my own stuff. And now it's selling like hotcakes because the kid's freaking just in high demand of everyone wants to see him. Everyone wants to be part of the Sugar Show.
Yep.
So yeah, just good on him.
Yeah, good on him.
He's going to
Again,
make a
like, he's
shit ton
just-
of money, dude.
Yeah. I just love what he's doing. I love the person that he is too. He's just true, genuine, and he just believes in himself undoubtedly, and you got to respect that. You got to respect that, man.
Yeah.
So hats off to Sean O'Malley.
Yeah, absolutely. So, did you watch Friday night's Bellator card?
You know what's funny is I couldn't watch it. I really wanted to watch that fight, the Michael Chandler.
I didn't watch it
versus,
either, but
Benson.
I did see the highlight. Did you see the highlight?
I did.
Benson Henderson got floored by a
He
big
got
right
floored.
hand.
He got KO'd.
Yeah, KO'd
pretty
pretty
viciously.
viciously. Yeah. So Michael Chandler is now a free agent, dude. Could he make a UFC run?
I don't know why, if you're Dana White, why you wouldn't sign Chandler.
I
don't
think
know
you
why.
could put. I wouldn't say Justin Gaethje him, throw him in the top 5, but I think top 10 right away. Why not?
I
think he could
completely agree
compete.
with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Michael Chandler. He's phenomenal fighter. I really
Mm-hmm.
do. And like, look, dude, people talk shit about Bellator, but they do have really top elite fighters. I mean, look at Sergio Pettis. He was always top 10 in the UFC. He's over in Bellator now. You're trying to tell me that guy, like, obviously it's Sergio Pettis. Like, he competes with the best of the UFC, and now he's over in Bellator. They have great fighters over there. Michael
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they
Chandler
really
is
do.
one of those
and
fighters.
he's one of the elites of
Yes.
the lightweight division right now.
And I'm not saying like throw Michael Chandler to the champ right
Yeah,
now.
give
I'm not
him the
saying
Habib.
that. Yeah, I'm not saying that. But I totally agree with you. A top 10 easily.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Michael Chandler deserves that to be tested with these elite fighters in the UFC, man.
I would love to see
I love
him
it.
versus like a Paul Felder, dude.
Yes, exactly.
That'd be a
a great
perfect
fight.
matchup. Mm-hmm.
That'd be a perfect matchup. I completely agree with you there.
Michael Chandler is just one of these guys that's always counted out his whole career.
Yeah.
Just he's not a big lightweight. He's pretty short. But fuck, man, there are some savage short guys that have just throughout lightweights history. I mean, remember Frankie Edgar was a lightweight champ at one point. Like this motherfucker's fighting at 135 now. And I guess MMA news, it kind of ties in. Frankie Edgar isn't on 252, and I don't think we talked that yet.
No, we have not.
So he is now, I think, main eventing a card.
Yes, he is. Yes, against Pedro Munoz, correct?
Yeah, I don't know if it's 5 rounds or not. I'll look that up
I
for
would
the next
highly
episode.
doubt it's 5 rounds.
Hope.
But it's
I
a
would love to see
bantamweight main
5
event
rounds for that.
Saturday, August 22nd. That card starts at 5:30 at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas.
Okay,
You can
that'll be
watch it on E
interesting.
ESPN. So
That'll be interesting. Yeah, and they've been doing these last few cards just been ESPN Plus exclusives,
Mm-hmm.
which kind of fucking sucks because their subscription app still sucks. I tried.
Bro,
what was
fuck.
it? I think what was it? It was the Kuznets Kaya fight just cut out for me.
Yep,
Totally
same
cut
with
out
me.
for me.
There were 3 different times, and it was the last 3 fights of the card where I was getting booted off the ESPN Plus app, and I'm just like, guys, I'm
so
trying to watch a
bad.
fight. I got to be honest with you, too. That Chris Weidman fight, I missed the whole 3rd round. So I played it, and it froze, and then I exited out, and then I went back on the app, tried to open it up. It wouldn't open, so I exited out again. I opened it up again, and by then, 5 minutes had gone by, and I missed the whole 3rd round, so I had to replay it, and then I was like, oh, my God, it was a complete and utter
so
domination.
bad. It's so bad.
I don't understand. You have fuck you money over
Yeah,
at Disney. You have
seriously.
trillions upon trillions of dollars in money in offshore accounts. Please fix the app because we will support you. Like we will fucking give you all the money you want, Disney. But please
And
just
they won't. They
just
won't.
fix your
They don't
app,
give a
man.
shit. They're like,
I know.
fucking, you're
'Cause they're
still
making money
paying,
anyway. I
motherfuckers.
know.
You're still paying.
But man, it's just so frustrating how much that app cuts
It
out.
sucks. It sucks.
It
And we
does.
got a big pay-per-view coming up this weekend.
do.
And it's like, fuck, we're thinking, possible fight companion coming. It's
Yeah.
like, we don't
And
want
it's-
that shit to cut out right
No.
in the middle. Like, what
It's
the fuck?
it's awful when it cuts out, dude.
Yeah.
It's awful because it's like, you pay big money to see a fight. I mean, you spend $70 on a pay-per-view and it cuts out 2 or 3 times.
ridiculous.
It's unacceptable. I mean, like if you're paying that kind of money, like you want a stream free. And don't get me wrong, I love the fact that UFC was picked up by ESPN.
Yeah,
I
it's
think it's
huge
the
for the
greatest
sport.
thing ever. Yes, and overall, I'm so happy that they did. It's the best, as you just said, it's the best thing for the sport. But come on, we got to do something about the ESPN Plus app, man. We cannot keep having fans missing out on fights and having to do rewinds and then being fucked when they go back on the app and they find out who won the fight. It takes away from the excitement and the overall fan
That's
experience.
That's a real thing. You
It is a real
you go
thing.
on the app, and when you click on the fight to watch the fight, it's the picture of it is the fucking win.
Right.
So it's like you're just spoiled right there. Now you already know what's gonna happen. Why the fuck would I watch it? So
Yeah, it's
stupid.
It does just infuriate me to no end, and I don't understand too because it's like you can hire people who know what they're doing. Hire people who
Hire
are
me.
working on Netflix.
I will fix that shit
Netflix
for you.
has got the greatest streaming platform of all time, and that's why it's
seriously.
still around, and that's why it's still prevalent. And that's why it is the dominant streaming source. I will always check Netflix first because the platform is just so incredibly easy and smart to use.
Yeah, and it works on garbage ass internet like I have.
Exactly, it does.
It works.
Because
It
it's
works
just
perfectly.
the perfect platform, and they're constantly making improvements. And I wish they would take that sort of time to fix that ESPN Plus app, because I'm telling you, they could make billions of more dollars if they did.
Yeah.
I think more people would be inclined to use that app if it wasn't awful.
Oh yeah,
You know, I don't know. It's
terrible.
just so it's so frustrating.
it's terrible.
Don't get me on a soap about that.
Yeah,
that app.
We'll start all over again. All right, next thing. So this was interesting. You know, last week we talked about how Habib Nurmagomedov versus Justin Gaethje is on for October 24th. So Habib has said publicly now that he is not coming back to America until, I think, fight week. Maybe 2 weeks before fight week. He's doing his entire camp in Dagestan.
Yeah.
And this is the first time he's done that in, I think, like 3 or 4, maybe even 5 years. Like, so it's been a very long time since he had to do that.
I mean, can you blame the guy?
No, I mean, with Corona restrictions and stuff
Cor-
like this,
I mean,
plus
well,
his
our
father
country-
dying, and
yeah.
he has his own gym. It's like, it's so much.
Well, in the United States of America, we can't figure it out. I mean, you got people congregating like Matt, and it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's a giant freaking concert that they're doing or a protest where people aren't wearing masks. It's just, we're never going to figure it out here. We're never going to figure it out because it's the land of the free and people do whatever the hell they want. And it is kind of it is kind of a selfish nation when it comes to that, man. Like, people are just going to do what they want to do. So I'm actually, I back Habib here. I get it, man. Go train in Dagestan. Don't come to the States where you're risking one of your coaches and then you getting COVID-19. Just work out in Dagestan, and we'll see you October 24th.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he has all his own training partners, so it doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter where he does his camp. Plus, Javier Mendez is going to fly out to Dagestan and do his whole camp with him. So it's not like he's missing out on much other than the fact that obviously his head coach, his dad, is now gone. So, so I thought that was interesting. Now, UFC 255 did get announced, and it's
Yeah, I
a
did see
double
this.
flyweight championship card.
I like the way they did the promotion on this. Double flyweight.
Double
That's
flyweight.
cool.
So obviously they're going to have the winners of this card fight each other for the intergender flyweight championship.
So it's
And Henry Cejudo's just
Shevchenko
fucking
versus
pissed.
versus Garbrandt, and Figueiredo versus Maya. So
Henry Cejudo's in the corner, just like, motherfuckers. I wanted
it's like, I
this."
could have been quadruple champ.
No, but okay, so yeah, so Figueiredo, Garbrandt are fighting, and Shevchenko and Maya. It's happening in November, obviously to be denounced or announced for wherever they're fighting. It's either Fight Island or it's the Apex.
Right,
Probably
we don't know
Apex.
yet, but I mean, UFC 255 is a ways away too.
Oh yeah, November.
Yeah,
so
November.
we got
we
quite
got
a
plenty
few
of time
months.
to figure out where that's going to be. I saw the buzz online about this Cody Garbrandt versus Davidson Figueiredo fight for the flyweight championship of the world, and a lot of people said, and I kind of have to agree a little bit, but they said that Garbrandt jumped the line. What do you say on that? You got to feel bad right now for Brandon Moreno. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know how you don't.
absolutely, you
if
have
you know
to.
who he is.
Because he deserved the fight.
Yeah, he did. He deserved it.
I mean, he's the obvious number one contender in that division. But I mean, it's Cody Garbrandt. He's a star. It doesn't
is a
matter
star.
if he has one win in the last fucking 3 years. It
He's
doesn't
still
matter.
an elite athlete, though, and it's one of those things. I think Garbrandt's different in that situation than a lot of other fighters. He lost to TJ twice, and then he loses to Pedro Munoz because he just saw red and he just wanted to bang. He just wanted to throw and bang. But after watching his last performance, I gotta say, like, he fought a much more calculated fight, and I think he's back on track.
Yeah, but it's definitely like you can't not admit that it's not some special treatment. Like, it has to be
whoa. Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Yeah, no.
It's most
He
definitely
jumped
some
the line.
special treat. Like he jumped the line for sure. He doesn't deserve the title shot, but he's getting it because he's a big name, because he's going to sell. I think this is going to be a main event of a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, what the fuck? Like, flyweight men's title for main event of the pay-per-view? They never do that.
No, they never do
Never.
that. Never. But what I will say, and I'll say it as I said a couple episodes ago, I think Cody Garbrandt is a brilliant kid. I think that was just the smartest move ever, wanting to go down to bantamweight. Because, man, I'm telling you, if he can go out there and he beats a Figueiredo, immediately he jumps the line for that bantamweight belt. He does. He does. Because then you got belt against belt, champ against champ, But I like this fight. And, man, as it sits right now, I don't know if you're going to beat Davidson Figueiredo at 125.
No,
He
it's
just
a
looks phenomenal.
It's a great matchup.
It's a great matchup.
It really is.
And
Either man can win.
and you know what? Like, I'm so sorry to say this to Brandon Moreno. Like, it sucks for you, dude. It sucks for you, and my heart goes out to you. But this is going to be a fun fight.
And this is a bigger fight, way
it is a
bigger
bigger
fight.
fight. And I am I'm way more excited about this than Brandon Moreno.
Yeah, well, if it was Figueiredo, Brandon
feel
Moreno,
bad
that's a
saying that.
co-main event of a pay-per-view or just a fight night main
Right,
event.
just a fight night, yeah.
You know, they're not going to put that on a big giant card.
No.
So, but you know, obviously Shevchenko is going to get another title defense. You know, just another little power belt gem. So,
Right, yeah, exactly. I know.
Unfortunately,
she's like fucking
there's not much
Thanos,
to break
dude.
down
she's gonna
with
have
that
like
fight.
30 stones in that belt.
Yeah,
by the
they're-
time she's like 35. It's
Exactly.
gonna be insane.
Yeah.
No one's beating her, dude.
nobody. I'm sorry,
one.
Jennifer Maia, but she'll probably submit you in the first round.
Or she'll probably KO her in
She'll
the
probably
second.
KO
Man.
her. Yeah.
Like I'm like in no disrespect to Jennifer Maia, but just Shevchenko is on. We talk about
she's
it all the
scary.
time. She's just her and Nunez are just.
If they
The
don't
best, the
if they
best.
don't fight each other, I honestly think you need to have some sort of like just let Shevchenko fight a few dudes and knock them out.
Well, I think at some point, I mean, you gotta combine belts. You gotta have Weili Zhang fight
You
Shevchenko
got it.
or
It's 'cause
something. Man.
She's
You gotta have
running out
super
of
fights.
contenders.
Yeah, she is.
She's just
Fast.
gonna run. She's gonna steam through this top 5 real quick, and then it's gonna have to be an Amanda Nunes. Maybe she cuts. Who knows? She can make 125.
And it might have been
Cuts an arm off or something.
And it might have been a blessing in disguise that JoJo Calderwood did not win that fight against Jennifer Maia because after watching that performance,
She wasn't ready.
No, she was not ready.
And I was saying
it
that
would have
before
been-
they made that fight,
yeah,
but
and we all knew that too. But man, after watching that, Shevchenko would have pieced her up in the first, no problem.
no problem.
I think she would have had fun with it, the same way
it would
Amanda has
have
fun.
been like a lion toying with a mouse. Like,
Yes.
It's honestly, and it's so disrespectful, but it's the truth. Like she's
Yeah, we're
just that
not trying to be
good.
disrespectful either. It's just
No.
Shevchenko is that good. It doesn't mean
Yeah.
these girls aren't elite fighters because they are. They definitely are.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the champ of that division, you have to give due where credit is due, man.
Mm-hmm.
You have to. And Shevchenko's just on a different level. So it's not a disrespectful thing for the other fighters. It's just Shevchenko's just
That
the
good.
best. She
Yeah.
is the GOAT at 125. Period.
Absolutely. So this was actually a shocker to me
This
when I
was
saw
a
this.
big news.
Yeah, Corey Anderson is now going to Bellator. This shocked me. I didn't even know he was a free agent. I didn't even know his contract was up.
Bro, let me tell you one thing. He blows past Ryan Bader. If they give him a shot.
I think so.
Oh, I know so. Yes.
Really?
I really believe that. I think Corey Anderson blows through him.
I think it's an interesting matchup.
I love it. I think Bellator should literally give him a shot at the title right away.
Really?
oh,
Even
dude,
coming off
yeah.
a knockout, you don't want to get him like one win first?
No, I don't think you need to. I
Really?
don't think you need to, dude. Corey Anderson is good.
Yeah, he's really
He's
good.
good. He's an
most
elite-
definitely top 5 UFC still if he was in.
He's an elite light heavyweight, man.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, if I'm a Coker, that's what I'm doing, man. I'm giving him the immediate title shot. I know Bader's got someone for the light heavyweight, but the winner of that, you got to give Corey Anderson, especially signing such a big name like Corey Anderson. It shocked me that Anderson asked for to get out of his contract at the UFC. He said, "I'm done." But
Yeah.
I guess that's because he thought he was getting treated unfairly. But it's like, hey, dude,
well,
at the
he,
same
and,
time,
he,
he
and he
just-
was.
he was, but he just got KO'd at the same time.
Yeah,
so it's
so
like
now he had no
he
negotiating
had, yeah,
pull.
he had no, yeah. Unfortunately for him.
Yeah, that sucks. And it's unfortunate because I just loved watching him fight against some of the best in the world. Like that Jan fight was such an interesting match. If he won that fight, he would have been fighting for the belt.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just an interesting situation. I don't know if he gets the immediate title shot in Bellator. I think maybe they make him fight one guy. Who knows who? Anybody.
Yeah,
Make
top
him fight
4
anybody.
guy. Yeah, top 2 guy. Probably a number 1 contender.
Yeah, and if
at
he
least.
beats them, then he gets the title shot.
Yeah.
Because Ryan Bader needs fucking title defenses.
I'm
Like,
telling
this
you
is a guy
right
that
now,
needs
though,
fights.
whoever Corey Anderson goes against, I'm putting you put the house on Corey Anderson.
I
man.
think so.
Yeah, you put the
think
house
so.
on him. So
So Marlon Moraes versus Corey Sandhagen is in the works for October 10th, the main event.
okay.
So
which means, right?
if
means
if
that-
Marlon Moraes wins, does he skip the fucking line and beat in for over Aljo?
No. I have a different perspective. I think what this means here is that Aljamain Sterling
Is
is,
for sure the
getting
next
shot.
guy?
They're just working out contract negotiations right now. But yes, Aljamain Sterling unquestionably deserves. We talk about it all the time on this podcast, and I think Dana White knows that. I think he looked at probably the analytics of the fans and go, okay, everyone says Aljamain Sterling deserves it. Don't piss us off, dude. Like it's so ridiculous. It was even a conversation.
Well, remember, fucking who was it? It was Kamaru Usman beat RDA right after Colby beat RDA for the belt, and then
Right.
Kamaru Usman jumped Colby for that
Yep.
fucking title shot. So it's not like this hasn't happened before.
Yeah.
And he
So-
was saying Marlon Moraes is still in the mix.
Yeah, it's irritating. It's
Yeah, because
irritating
I
for
don't
me.
think he does what Aljamain Sterling did to Corey Sandhagen.
No.
If I think he beats Corey Sandhagen. Gun to my head. I think he
that's what I think
beats him,
too.
but I don't think he does what Aljamain Sterling did.
No.
Not nearly as dominantly.
Well, and that's the thing too. I mean, Aljamain Sterling submitted him in the first round.
Like 10 seconds,
Yeah.
15 seconds.
So it's like, if you don't outdo that performance, you do not deserve a title shot over Aljamain Sterling.
Yes.
Period. End of discussion.
Yes.
Unless it's more like spectacular,
He
like a
KOs
flying
him
knee.
with a wheel
Yeah.
kick in 2 seconds or some shit. Yeah, it's the only way.
Aljamain Sterling is the next guy to fight Petr Yan, and that's the fight I want to see more
It's
than
the fight
anything else.
everyone
man.
wants. It's the
Everyone
only
wants
fight.
it.
It's the
I
only
don't
fight.
understand why Uncle Dana does not want to give that to the fans. Uncle Dana, if you're listening, bro, please give us that fight. And not only that, but Aljamain Sterling deserves it. If there's anyone in the UFC that deserves a title shot, it's that man.
Yes.
That bantamweight division is stacked, and he
Stacked.
just
killing
mauls
guys.
through guys, man. And he's such a marketable dude. He's funny. He's entertaining. Like, I don't listen to the UFC Unfiltered every single episode,
But when he
whenever
goes on-
Aljamain Sterling's on, I gotta tune in, dude. I gotta tune in. Like, he's just funny. He's a cool guy, and he's marketable. So just give him the title shot, damn it.
Yeah. Agreed with everything you just said right there. So, yeah. I think, dude, we're only at 35 minutes. I mean, fuck it. You just want to do the show right now?
Yeah, that's fine.
Why not? Fuck it. So UFC 252 preview show, it's on. What a huge fight this is, dude. The winner of this fight is the GOAT, the heavyweight GOAT.
Yes, sir.
So it's like, I'm just so excited because remember a few months ago we were talking about this fight and we're like, this fight's never gonna fucking happen. They're gonna strip Stipe. Like, this fight's,
Yeah.
negotiations are fucked, but it's here. It's next
here,
week.
and it
dude.
is next Saturday.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for it, Tabor. I am just so excited about this. This is for the pound for pound greatest heavyweight of all time in the UFC. And what a way to do it. You got Stipe Miocic versus Daniel Cormier. And dude, this is the third. This is the trilogy. This is the fight that we all wanted to see. And
It's the
fight that
only
we
fight.
got.
It was the only fight to make in the heavyweight division.
It is.
It was the only fight that matters in the heavyweight division. I know Francis is on a tear right now, knocking
is.
fools out in
And he
25
deserves the
seconds.
next shot.
Absolutely. But it's like this fight is in a league of its own. Yep. Mainly because of the way Stipe put the beating on Francis. Like that performance was legendary. Yeah, he was getting cracked hard with giant punches, but it just shows you the legendary chin that Stipe has. And it can't shock you that he got knocked out cold 6 months later off a performance like that. So,
Well, this is the legacy fights of legacy fights. Like, this is the very definition of that.
yes.
And I just, man, God. And I got to say, too, like, and you know me, I'm a huge DC fan. It's probably my favorite fighter, I got to be honest. Like, I love
He's up
Daniel
there for me.
Cormier.
He's top 3, I think.
He is like one of the coolest dudes of all time. I love the Ariel Helwani and DC
yeah,
show.
it's such a great show.
It's such a good show, man. And DC's just funny. He's such
Mm-hmm.
a likable guy. I never understood back in the day why people hated DC. You remember that?
Yeah, I did. I was one of those guys.
I was never.
Well, it seemed like he was a shit talker. That's what it seemed like. But I don't know what happened. Maybe it was because he became a commentator, but something happened with the fans. Like, this man was not loved like he is right now.
And
But he is
I
loved
never,
now.
dude, back in the day, I never understood that. I was like, DC was always one of my favorite fighters of all time.
I think it because he might have came off as arrogant.
Yeah, but what fighter
But
doesn't
honestly,
come off as
exactly,
arrogant?
exactly.
I mean, in all seriousness, like, fuck, you want to talk about arrogant? If you
John Jones. Yeah, well, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, again, John Jones has every right to be arrogant. He's the GOAT
He's
of
the
all
man,
time.
yeah.
I mean, come on. Like, so he has a right to be arrogant. But I don't know. That's kind of a cheap cop-out, in my opinion, because I don't
think
know.
that's what it was. I mean,
Yeah.
I was one of those guys. I used to think like, man, I don't like this cocky guy. I don't like this guy who just says he's going to win every single fucking time because
But
he's
he
undefeated.
did. Yeah, but he did, until those losses to John Jones. But
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why. Since now I love him. Now he's easily one of
God,
my
I
most
love
favorite
him.
fighters.
I
Like,
love him,
It's
dude.
him. Stipe's up there too, though. Like, I fucking love Stipe Miocic.
oh, we know.
Like, I love that guy.
Yes, you
and
do.
he's got that immigrant mentality, like fucking Joey Diaz says.
Joey Diaz, the man.
Well, he's just the man. Like, fucking,
Yeah.
if he's not training, he's fucking saving cats out of trees, kissing babies and shit like that, being a full-time
Firefighter, yeah.
So it's like, the guy's just an awesome guy. And it's funny because every interview he ever does, he mumbles through everything. He's a
He does.
super hardcore mumbler. You
He
can't
is.
understand shit he says. But he always talks about how when he gets back to the firehouse, they're like, "Hey man, why don't you wear your belt while you go clean these toilets and shit?" Like that. They just humble him instantly.
Yeah.
So he can't be, "Oh, I'm that guy." He just can't be, because
Well,
he goes back to the fire station. He's instantly scrubbing toilets and shit. So
Well, and before that second fight with DC, he said, like in interviews, I remember watching it all the time. He goes, "These firefighters pitch me so much shit because I lost to this dude." He goes, "I got to go out there and whoop his ass." He goes, "I have to." He goes, they are relentless in pitching me shit." He goes, "I'm just so tired of hearing it." He goes, "I got to go out there and beat DC." And before the second fight, and sure enough, he did in the fourth. Beautiful performance by Stipe, especially too, because in my personal opinion, I thought DC was winning that fight up until that point.
all rounds. The fourth was it.
The fourth was the final one, but those body shots, that left body shot over and over and over. I mean, I think I counted like at least 10.
It was like 13,
yeah,
I think.
at least 10. Yeah, 13. It was wild.
Let's talk that fight, because so the first round, DC took him down and ground him into the mat and obviously dominated that whole round, didn't let him back up.
Yeah.
And then from the second on, was just swinging on him and was beating his ass, essentially. He was really beating Stipe. Like, he was fucking him up there for 3 rounds until Stipe's coach got in his face and says, "Dude, you need to dig. You need to dig deep. I know what's in you. What are you doing?" Comes out, hits the body shots, and took over the fight from there. Yeah. And it was like, that's obviously not your game plan, because Stipe said it himself. Have you watched the countdown yet? For this, it just came out today.
Yet.
I watched it before I came over, and Stipe
came out today.
Yeah, it just came out.
I'll have to watch it then.
Yeah, I watched it before I came over. Stipe was saying that, fuck, what did he say? Brain farting.
I don't know.
No, he was saying that the entire time it felt like his feet were in quicksand. Like, he couldn't move. He was standing in front of him, allowing DC to hit those shots. I don't know if that's an excuse or what, but if he moves and actually finds a way to keep a little bit of distance and uses that reach that we all know he has on DC, this could be a very interesting fight. But it's like, it's just such a tough one to break down, because if DC really wants to, I think he could take him down every round.
So do I.
As long as the cardio holds up.
Are we predicting this fight?
Oh, we have to.
Yeah, we'll pick it.
Let's pick it. We're doing this fight first, so we're picking it first.
So let's pick it first. Again, this is a very intriguing matchup. If you look at the Vegas odds, they have them both at a -110 right now.
Yeah, that's
how close this fight is, folks.
And that's pretty much perfect odds.
It is perfect odds. It's the only thing that makes sense.
I really do think this fight's a pick 'em.
I do. Yeah, absolutely. But if I'm being honest, I have complete and utter confidence in Daniel Cormier. I'm just listening to this dude in interviews. He just seems at peace. He seems relaxed. He has accepted the mistakes that he made in that second fight. His head wasn't in the right place. But whenever I hear an interview, man, he just seems, as I said before, he seems at peace. He seems ready to go. And I really hear the intensity in his voice. Even though he's at peace, you can tell he wants this. He desires this more than anything else. And not to say Stipe doesn't, because of course Stipe does too. But what the sense that I'm getting from Stipe, from what I've heard from the interviews and stuff, is Stipe seems to be like exuding this like very negative energy, just very still upset, just very still frustrated. And I think that does eat away at the soul at someone. Because we heard that a lot in the second fight with DC, how DC was kind of starting to get negative and not really. So for me, I think DC comes out and has the performance of a lifetime. I have him winning 4th round, and I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to go crazy here. I think he's going to rear naked choke submission in the 4th round.
Oh, shit.
Yep.
That'd be crazy. That would be crazy. That'd be fucking awesome. I totally could see it happening. But, Stipe, I don't think he's going to come in and have the same performance he had in his last fight. Because that wasn't the Stipe that we all know Stipe to be. It just seemed like until the 4th round, that's the Stipe that we know. The guy landing those body shots, the guy going for the finish. That's the Stipe that we know. That's the Stipe that we love. And that wasn't the Stipe that fought those first 4 rounds. If the Stipe that showed up in the 4th shows up in the 1st round of this fight, I think this could be a completely different fight. I think this is going to be a 5-round war. I don't think either man's going to finish each other. If it goes down to the ground, DC will have the advantage, obviously. Greco-Roman, Olympic-style wrestler. But Stipe was stuffing a few of those takedowns into later rounds in their second fight. So if he can find a way to stuff a couple, he doesn't have to stuff them all. But if he could find a way to stuff those later takedowns into 3rd and 4th, I wouldn't be shocked if he found ways to steal rounds. And I'm going to take Stipe 3-2, Stipe unanimous decision.
Alrighty. Wow. That'll be a fun fight nonetheless. I'm just, dude, this is the fight that we've wanted to see for a year, Taylor.
Honestly, it really has.
A year, man. And I cannot wait for Saturday night. It's just going to be a great time. This card is stacked too. So
Absolutely stacked.
Let's talk about this co-main event. We got Sugar Sean O'Malley versus Marlon Chito Vera for the co-main bantamweight. Sean O'Malley sitting at 12-0, still undefeated. But man, does he have a task in front of him with Chito Vera. This is a phenomenal fight as well. How do you see this one breaking down?
Sean O'Malley, first round KO.
Oh, okay.
Dude, the hype train. Hopping right in. Yeah, dude, the hype train is fucking huge for Sugar, dude. It's real and it's huge. Everyone's jumping on it. He's everyone's favorite fighter. He's making all this fucking money. But this is the biggest test to date, dude.
Yes,
Marlon Vera is a fucking striking savage. And it's hard for me to say first round KO. I have to. I feel like I have to because I took O'Malley decision last time, and then he gets the first round KO, and I just hated myself for not saying it because it's what I wanted to say just because it's like a meme already. But I have to say it. Sugar Sean O'Malley, first round KO. I just think he's just going to be the more technical striker. This could be the most technical striking matchup on this entire card. I think it really is. I think it's easily going to be the most technical striking matchup on the card. Sugar Sean's striking, I really do think it's next level. He does stuff that other guys don't do. Spinning back fists into head kicks.
And the way he sets it up, too. And he's just so fluid in his movement. I mean, he's very deceiving. Like, he'll bring his shoulder back. It's a pop! And it's just like, whoa, where the fuck did that come from?
Well, his last knockout, Eddie Wineland, the fake fucking uppercut.
Yep.
It was so beautiful.
Beautifully timed, too.
So beautiful. But Chito is one of these guys that's never been finished. It's never been finished. So if he did get the first round KO, which is what I'm predicting, it's gonna be like
him to the next level.
Absolutely. Big giant fight after that. Fucking everyone freaks out.
Main event fight.
Yep, it's gonna be the reaction clip all over the YouTubes. Kids freaking out, throwing shit.
Oh,
at the
dude,
TV.
all those Twitch kids, those fucking 14, 15-year-olds. Oh my god!
Dude, they're all gonna be freaking out.
That's the thing,
smoking
too,
joints at the same time.
Because like you think about the UFC, like kids don't. I'm saying majority, okay? Majority of 14, 15-year-olds, unless you were me, because that's when I started watching UFC. But
Yeah, same.
most kids don't give a fuck about fights.
No.
But they care about Sugar Sean.
Yeah.
And they will
they'll
tune in to
his
watch
fight.
him.
Yeah, they'll buy the pay-per-view because he's on
because
the
of him.
card.
And if he has another highlight knockout reel on top of that, and a guy who's never been finished in one Chito Vera, I mean, I should say his name, Marlon Moreira. But I'm telling you right now, dude, it will propel his career. It'll be the best thing for him.
Next Israel Adesanya, next Conor McGregor, dude. He could be
Superstar.
big. He could be huge. Yeah, first round KO. I have to go with him.
Alrighty. Well, so this is how I see this going down. Marlon Vera, Chito Vera, whatever. I think he's a phenomenal fighter. I think he beat Song Yadong. I thought it was real close. Actually, I don't know if he beat him, but it was
super close. You could see either man winning it. That's more of a fight that, there needs to be more draws, dudes, because there are so many fights that it's hard.
Yeah. There has to be. I mean, when it's razor thin close like that, like why? Let's call it a draw. That way, because unlike any other sport, one loss will set you back 2 years. That's a long time in someone's career, man. So I think if fights are razor close like that, and it's like a matter of 1 or 2 punches, we got to give it a draw. So both guys are set up for the future because it was such a great fight. But nonetheless, not getting on that topic, I think this is going to be a much tougher matchup for Sugar Sean O'Malley. Again, I think he's a phenomenal striker, phenomenal fighter, but I think he's going to get into some murky waters here. I think it's going to be a lot harder for him, and we're going to see his heart. We're going to see how much heart this kid has, how much tenacity he has, because what I've seen a lot in people's careers is, we just saw it with Edmund Shabazian.
Yep.
Okay? When you go out there and you knock out dudes every time in the first round, it's real easy. It's real easy to be like, I'm the man. No one can defeat me. But when you get taken into those murky waters, man, you gotta see the heart in those fighters because it's a lot different. And Brunson was piecing him up in the second and third round, looked phenomenal. So for me in this, I think Sean O'Malley is going to be taken into murky waters. I think this goes the distance, but I think we're going to see the heart and the superstar that is Sean O'Malley. So I have to go Sugar Sean O'Malley by decision.
And if Chito Vera wins, which is a very winnable fight for him as
Very
well.
winnable fight.
He's going to steal all that hype. He could be the next fucking guy because he was already a guy it had like 9 or 10 wins in the UFC, finally broke into the top 15 with that Song Yadong fight. And then, unfortunately it doesn't go his way, but so many people saw him winning that fight.
Yes.
So
and
it's interesting.
Either way with that fight, as we just brought up. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a very interesting matchup. I'm glad they made this matchup. If Sugar Sean O'Malley gets the KO or even the win, he has to get a huge matchup, dude. I'm talking Dominic Cruz. I'm talking fucking somebody like that.
And that's something that we had brought up earlier, where we'd really like to see Dominic Cruz take on Sugar Sean O'Malley, because Dominic Cruz is like 11 or 12 right now.
It's a perfect fight.
It's a perfect fight
Perfect
if he does beat Marlon Moreira.
Okay.
Or Marlon Moreira.
Yep. So, heavyweight banger, Junior Dos Santos, Jairzinho Rosenstrike. Whew, I can't wait for this fight. Jairzinho, can he get KO'd once again by JDS early?
I think
he
it's
did in that
possible.
last fight?
I think it's possible,
Because this was did seem soon. It seems a little soon after getting viciously KO'd by Francis.
Ngannou. Yeah. But actually, that was a while ago. I think that was
May.
like our second fight companion ever.
May.
So it was a little while. Yeah. We're looking at, August? So May, June, July, August.
About 4 months.
Yeah. It might be a little soon. You're right. But,
we'll see.
One loss, one KO, who knows?
We'll see. Yeah, but it just, with the power
Right.
of the viciousness. And, I mean, this is a guy that Francis has beaten both these men. So it's like, there's not much upside in this division right now with Francis being at the top. But, both of these guys are still wanting to get at least a title run in. So it's just an interesting matchup. I mean, both these guys can finish either. Like, they have one-punch knockout power is essentially what I'm trying to say. Or I'm failing to say. I can't wait for this fight, actually, because I think this will be probably sneaky fight of the night right there. Like that's possibly easily a fight of the night contender. I can't wait for that. I'm going to have to go with Rosenstrike, second round TKO. I think he finishes Junior. I think Junior might be on the backside of his career. He might be on his way out of the elite.
And I would have to agree with that assessment, Tabor. I am also taking Jairzinho Rosenstruck in this. I'm taking him third round KO. I think he gets the job done in the third. Once these guys start working a little bit, getting tired, I think he'll take full advantage of that. And one big punch, and that's lights out for JDS. So I have Rosenstruck third round.
Okay. John Dodson, Merab Dvalishvili.
I got to tell you, though, I am super excited about this fight.
Yeah,
I
me too.
really am. I love Merab. And don't ask me to pronounce his last name. Still haven't got it. I need to practice it off air. But Merab and John Dodson, man. John Dodson was on a little bit of a skid back in the day, but he kind of had a little bit of a resurgence here.
Yeah.
And I like this matchup with Merab, an up-and-coming guy. Merab is just so dominant. Every single fight, dude. I just love watching this kid fight. And he's one of those dudes that you can tell whenever he's in an interview after winning a fight, he's like, oh, I just want to fight again. I just want to fight another round.
Yeah, he's like, give me a fight tomorrow. He's kind of like Chimaev.
Chimaev, yes. And I just love his heart. I love his spirit. This is going to be a great fight, though, dude. How do you see this going down?
Yeah, well, if that's the biggest thing is if it goes down or not. Merab's obviously going to be going for the takedowns.
Of course.
Just seeing if he's quick enough to get his hands on John Dodson, because John Dodson's easily the fastest fighter in this entire division.
Oh, dude, he's speedy
Easily.
fast. Yeah.
Easily. He's also probably the shortest and smallest, calls himself a midget and all that. But you know what? Ever since he cut his fro, this man has been on a win streak. And that's all he fucking needed, just a little bit of aerodynamics.
Exactly. Not only that, but he literally went toe-to-toe for 3 rounds in a decision loss to Petr Yan just last year.
Yeah.
So it's like he can still hang with the best of the best.
Yeah, and he's got some of the best footwork. I mean,
does.
he's just so hard to
So
land on. It's just he's so fast. This is a huge test for Merab.
It is.
Because if he gets this win, that propels him easily into the top 10.
But it is a test that he deserves.
Yes.
I really believe Merab deserves it because
Yes.
his fights, like every single time, dude, he's so impressive out
yeah,
there.
and the machine is the perfect name for him because the guy's a fucking savage. He's got an endless gas tank. He's probably got the best cardio in the whole division. Apparently, he outworks everyone in the gym. Aljamain Sterling says this all the time. He outworks him. He outworks everyone.
Yeah.
So I'm very up on Merab. I'm very high on
So
him.
am I.
This is a rough matchup for him, dude. Like
It is.
It's going to be tough, but I think he finds a way to get a hold of him, maybe takes him down a couple times, and sneaks out 2 rounds, dude. I'm taking Merab decision.
And this is something too, Tabor, where you and I actually had the same pick for this. I am right on board with what you just said. Your analysis on this fight. I also have Merab decision.
All right. So
Let's talk about this rematch.
fight of the year contender right
that's
off the
pretty-
bat.
I don't know. There
It
have been
could
some
be, dude.
Fight of the year, though?
Well, that's what everyone thought the first one was going to be until fucking
Well,
Kevin
until it got-
McDonald
yeah,
happened.
Screwed that one up.
Yeah. So Magomed Ankalaev, Ion Cutelaba, two guys that any casual fan would have no idea who the fuck they are. But oh boy, if you guys only knew.
Oh, just go watch the highlight reels for both of these
If
boys,
you guys
and you will
only
get
knew.
so excited for this.
Yes. Oh my god, just
These
two
two
giant
take people's
savages.
heads off.
Yes. Oh, dude, Eon's scary.
Eon's a
Eon's
legit
scary.
wild man. Like he's legit wild. Like you can just see it in his eyes that just something isn't right. But it like in the best way possible, but like something just isn't right where he's just like he has those fox eyes. You know what I'm saying? Where he's just like, I will kill you. You know, and like when you look at him, you're like, oh yeah, that guy will kill me. That's just what he comes across as for me.
Yep. And everything you just said right there is, I think, going to be his biggest downfall in this fight. Because he's going to be fucking pissed off because of the way for that first fight ended. If you guys don't know, got ended with the worst stoppage of
It
UFC
might have been
history.
in history.
Yeah.
It might have been the worst stoppage in history.
Yeah, the guy was pretending to be wobbled, and then Kevin McDonald waved it while he was still walking. Did
Dana White say that was a bad stoppage?
Everyone
he
said
had
that.
to have.
Everyone
Dana
said
White
it was a
even
bad
had to been
stoppage.
on
I don't
board
think
with that.
I think
Only a
even
single
Kevin
person.
McDonald.
Yeah, he was even like
Even he rewatched it and went, "Oh fuck, yeah." I didn't hear him
in
defend
that
himself.
situation. I just don't understand when it's so early in the fight. You got a guy still on his feet.
Yeah.
Like at least if he was severely hurt, at least let him take one shot to where he falls down so you can call it. But the fact that Ion Cutelaba was on his feet, and yeah, he might have been doing this a little bit, trying to like play possum. Because if you watched that, I know we've talked about it before, but I thought he was playing possum a little bit.
Yeah, he was.
I thought he
obviously.
was trying to set up that punch to come back and then just, catch Ankalaev. But
Well, he said that in his post-fight interview. He said Ankalaev's one of these guys that has been known to charge at you if he thinks he's about to get the finish. So he was using that against him to try to get the KO. Dude, if that's going to be your game plan this time, you just best hope Kevin McDonald isn't your fucking ref. It might happen again. You never know. You never know. Like, I just hope it's a great fight this time. I expect them both to be fucking pissed off and wanting to hurt each other early. And I think Eon might be a little bit in his head. He might be a little too angry coming into this fight, which we'll see. He might be calm. I could be completely wrong. He could be up against the fence, perfectly calm, one bead of sweat, that's it. Or he could be freaking the fuck out, pissed off, running across the octagon before the fight even starts, getting in his face like he did last time. And if he does that, I think it's going to come up again. I think it might hurt him. He might be a little wild, and Ankalaev might be able to finish him. So I'm going to actually take Ankalaev first round TKO. I think he finishes him early. I think he uses his anger against him, and we'll see.
Okay. For me, I love Ion Cutelaba, and I looked at the odds for this, and I got to be honest, man. I put $20 on this fight. Ion Cutelaba, and win or lose, like I think it's a smart bet because Ion Cutelaba is at plus 245.
Oh shit!
I think those odds are ridiculous.
Yeah, those are ridiculous. It should be a pick'em fight.
It should be a pick'em fight, and maybe because Ankalaev, I guess technically won the first fight. You could do like a minus 140 for Ankalaev, but dude, Ion Cutelaba is no joke. He's got knockout power just like Ankalaev does.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't understand why the odds are so astronomically bad. Vegas must be looking at this like through like a little lens, man. So for me, I'm going to try to pick up that extra point because I'm literally 500 points behind. I'm going to go Ion Cutelaba, second round KO. Awesome. I think the first round will be insane. I think there's going to be so much volume and strikes thrown. One guy might even get wobbled. It's going to be insane. And then the second round, I think it's over. I don't know about you, but I do not see this fight going.
No, it doesn't go to the distance. It doesn't go to the distance.
No way.
Someone's getting finished.
There's too much animosity between both these guys to just stand there and play fucking, sock 'em, rock 'em robots where you're just chilling.
Yeah. Does he walk across the octagon again? Did they let him?
I think he does.
He probably does.
But not as much as he did that first time.
Just literally walked right into him, chested him up.
That's his MO. That's what he does.
Yeah, it's so funny. Well, awesome, Mason. That was another one, boss.
Yes, sir.
Another great episode in the books. So everybody, make sure you go to our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at The Church of MMA. We are posting funny memes. We are making you guys laugh.
Yeah.
Hit us up.
Be sure to check out our YouTube channel, almost to 100 subscribers. So shout out to all the people who are subscribing to the channel. Be sure to go there and subscribe. Thank you so much for listening to The Church of MMA. My name is Mason Knight. That is Tabor Cragen. And until next time.
Peace.